ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जयो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, welcome to the Bhakti Shastri class. Today we are continuing to Nectar of Instruction, second lesson, including text number 2 and 3. Shri Shri Radha Govind ki jai, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In the last session, we have seen the first text. We have seen the Pranam Mantra of Srila Rupa Goswami and overview of Upadeshamrita and attitude in Krishna consciousness, then how Krishna consciousness teaches us about the sense control, and by controlling the senses, one can become the guru. That is the qualification for a guru. Today, continuing to lesson number 2, which includes text number 2 and 3, and these two texts explains about 6 favorable and 6 unfavorable activities for devotional service. That is the 6 things which can enhance our bhakti and 6 things which can destroy our bhakti. These are the 6 things which we are going to study today. The second text begins like this. Atyahara prayashascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangascha laulyamcha shadbhir bhaktir vinashyati. Translation. One's devotional service is spoiled when he becomes too entangled in the following 6 activities. First one, eating more than necessary or collecting more funds than required. Second one, over-endeavoring for mundane things that are very difficult to obtain. Third, talking unnecessarily about mundane subject matters. Fourth, practicing the spiritual rules and regulations only for the sake of following them and not for the sake of spiritual advancement, or rejecting the rules and regulations of the scriptures and working independently or whimsically. Fifth, associating with worldly minded persons who are not interested in Krishna consciousness. Sixth, being greedy for mundane achievements. These are the 6 things which can destroy our bhakti. And we have the 6 things which can enhance our bhakti.
Yes.
Text number 3. उत्साहान् निश्चयात् धैर्यात् तत्तत् कर्म प्रवर्तनात् संगत्यागात् सतो वृत्ते षड्भिर्भक्ति प्रसिद्ध्यति. Translation: there are 6 principles favorable to the execution of pure devotional service. First one, being enthusiastic. Second, endeavoring with confidence. Third, being patient. Fourth, acting according to regulative principles such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, hearing, chanting, and remembering Krishna. Fifth, abandoning the association of non-devotees. And sixth, following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. These 6 principles undoubtedly assure the complete success of pure devotional service. These are the 6 things which need to be avoided, which needs to be practiced. So first, Rupa Goswami has listed 6 things to be practiced, 6 things to be avoided, and then second, he has explained about what we have to practice for enhancing our devotional service. Now, in the purport of text number 2, Srila Prabhupada explains in the beginning about the 3 kinds of energy of the Lord. They are called as Antaranga Shakti, Tatastha Shakti, and Bahiranga Shakti. Antaranga Shakti, or the spiritual potency, which is called Daivi Prakriti or Srimati Radharani or Lakshmi Devi. They are the internal potency of the Lord. And technically, it can be again divided into 3 parts: Hladini, Sandhini, and Samvit. Hladini means the pleasure potency, Sandhini means the creative potency, and Samvit means the knowledge potency. And this we can also say as Sat, Chit, Ananda. Sat means always existing, that is Sandhini, and Chit means full of knowledge, that is Samvit, and the Hladini, that is Ananda. So all these are interrelated. They all are spiritual subject matters. So in the spiritual world, everything is in Antaranga Shakti, or the internal potency of the Lord. Next comes the Tatastha Shakti. The Tatastha Shakti of the Lord, again, it can be divided into 2 parts. One is Mahatma, other one is Duratma. So what are these Tatastha Shakti? These are the marginal potency of the Lord. Here the word Tata is used. Tata means something in the middle. We are the spiritual soul who are the part and parcel of the Lord, who are supposed to be in the spiritual world, but we are connected to the material world, that is Bahiranga Shakti. We belong to the Antaranga Shakti, but we are at present in the Bahiranga Shakti. So we are in the middle, that is Tatastha. In common language, Tata means the shore of a river. One side you have water, other side we have land, like that. So that is spiritual. In between spiritual and material, the living entities are called as Tatastha Shakti of the Lord. They are the Jiva. And they are the subordinate eternal servants of the Lord originally. Jivera Sarupahaya Krishnera Nityadasa. Every living entity is eternally a servant of the Lord, and they have the choice, the freedom to be either under the control of internal energy or under the control of external energy. So they can choose to be in association of Krishna, or you can be in the association of Maya. You can take shelter of Krishna, or you can take shelter of Maya. You can serve Krishna, or you can serve Maya or external energy. But at any time, the living entity cannot live without serving or without taking shelter. Either you should take the shelter of the Lord, that is internal energy, or you will be forced to take the shelter of the external energy of the Lord. That means the external energy will rule the jiva, which is not surrendering to the Lord. So here, those who have taken the choice of surrendering to Lord, they are called as Mahatma. Mahatma Nastumam Partha Daivi Prakriti Mashritaha, where Krishna says all the Mahatmas, the spiritual living entities, those who are inclined in the spiritual practice, they are Daivi Prakriti Mashritaha. They have taken the shelter of spiritual energy, Daivi Prakriti. And Duratma, these Duratmas, they are trying to become happy by sense gratification. They are cripple-minded jiva who does not know what is the real benefit for all the living entities. They are called as Duratmas. That is, the Tatastha Shakti has two categories, Mahatma and Duratma. Now, the Mahatmas, they will be going back to Godhead once they become perfect in their spiritual life. But for the people who do not surrender to the Lord, that is the Duratmas, they have this Bahiranga Shakti. Bahiranga Shakti will help them to achieve their material desires and fulfill them by endeavoring hard in this material world. And this will be done through three things, that is Adi Daivika Klesha, Adi Bhautika Klesha, and Adhyatmika Klesha. These are the three things which makes us to think about spiritual life. Or these are the, it is said, you are getting the slap by this material world for forgetting Krishna. But the living entity, they try to adjust within this material world itself. Even though there is a lot of problem in this material world, we will try in so many ways so that we think that I can do little more adjustment, I can work little more hard so that I can become happy. So throughout the entire life, the living entity is busy in searching after the happiness, but he will not be able to get it because Krishna himself has certified in Bhagavad Gita that this material world is Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam. You will not be able to live here forever. It is Ashashvatam. And also it is a Dukkhalayam. It is the place of misery, a place of distress. So you cannot solve this problem eternally. The problem itself is temporary. So how we can have a permanent solution? A temporary problem cannot have a permanent solution. So whatever solution you find, that is also temporary. It is not eternal. Now, what are the different problems that arise in the three different tapa, that is called tapatraya? Adi Daivika Klesha, that is the sufferings which are caused by the demigods, such as droughts, earthquakes, or storms, etc. All these things are the problems with the Adi Daivika Klesha, which is a Bahiranga Shakti of the Lord. Now, because of this Bahiranga Shakti or this Adi Daivika Klesha, even though we are getting so many problems, we try to solve it and we don't take to Krishna consciousness. The person will remain as atheist. He will not think that I have done something wrong because of my karma. These problems are coming. But instead, they will make so many arrangements so that we'll build a house which will not collapse even though there is earthquake. And if there is a storm also, we will find a better, more safe place so that our advanced technology can save me. So that is how the atheist will take it. But there are very few intelligent people who will understand the real cause of all these problems, and they can see the truth as it is through the light of Shastra, Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, and they will understand the actual cause of this is the 3 types of klesha, the 3 types of problems. And if I solve this, then I don't have to suffer like this. The second one is Adi Bhautika Klesha. That means the suffering caused by other living entities. There are any other living entity which is apart from us, they all are coming under Adi Bhautika Klesha. The insects or mosquitoes or rats, cockroaches, these are any living entity that creates the problem. If you see the cockroaches and all, they can destroy the entire crop, and they can cause the loss for lakhs of rupees. They can eat up everything. The newly grown in flower, which can grow into a grain. So before it grows into grain, all the flowers will be eaten by the insect. Then what you get? All the crops are gone. So that is the Adi Bhautika Klesha. So this Adi Bhautika Klesha is also meant for remembering us about Krishna. But what we do, we develop pesticides, we develop so many advanced technology such that this Adi Bhautika Klesha also will not beat us. We put poison to the rats, and we make fences. And so many things we do. We try to protect ourselves. That is Adi Bhautika Klesha. And then comes the Adhyatmika Klesha. This is the klesha or suffering caused by one's own body and mind. Physical, mental inabilities. All these things are Adhyatmika Klesha. And this Adhyatmika Klesha is the one which can trigger us towards spirituality. Because if you observe carefully, everyone can understand by their own experience, whatever kind of facility you may have in your life, it will not give you the complete satisfaction. It may be money, name, or wealth, or anything. It will not be able to make you completely happy and satisfied. At the same time, those who have nothing in their life, but if they have understood the spiritual aspects of life, they can be happy in any condition in their life. So those who understand this, they can easily take to Krishna consciousness. They can take to the spiritual life. So this Adi Bhautika Klesha, Adhyatmika Klesha, which is there, it is a very good cause for us to take to spirituality. Everyone is searching for happiness, and they search it in so many different places. But one who is intelligent, he has to look around and understand what people are doing. And if I am also trying to do whatever they are doing, and I will also be able to end up in the same things, whatever they have received. And if you observe, they are also not happy. Then what is to be done? We should take to spirituality. We should understand the purpose of life, and then we should make our life successful by chanting the holy name of the Lord, following 4 regulatory principles, and understanding, reading Shastra, all these things. These are the way how the Bahiranga Shakti makes us to remember the Lord. So this entire creation, this Bahiranga Shakti, is meant for bringing the living entity back to Godhead. Why we are here? Because we are not eligible to be in the spiritual world. The spiritual world is very big. Like if you say in comparison, 75% is spiritual world, 25% is material world. That is Tripada Vibhuti. This is Ekapada Vibhuti. So our spiritual world is very, very big as compared to material world. If you see material world itself, it is so big that this earth is very small as compared to the solar system. Very, very small. It's just a dust in front of the solar system. And this entire solar system is a very tiny dot in the galaxy. And like this, there are so many galaxies in this entire universe. And there are so many universes are coming out of the pores of Karanadakshayi Vishnu. Now we can understand how big this material world is. And there are so many universes, so many Brahmas are there, so many planets are there, all these things. And this is all very small as compared to the spiritual world. Athava bahunetena kim jnatena tavarjuna vishtabhyaham krishnam ekamshena stito jagat. The Lord is maintaining all these things with a just one fragmental portion of his energy. That means the spiritual world is always welcoming us. We should not think that in the spiritual world there is no space, so Krishna has kept us here. That is not the reason. The spiritual world is full of living entities and everyone can live there happily. Why we are not there is we are not qualified. That is the reason. Now this material world is not needed. It is not at all necessary if all the living entity goes back to Godhead. Everyone, just like in the city, there is no need to maintain a jail if every citizen is a good citizen. But there are thieves, there are lawbreakers. For them, there is a need for making a jail. And there is no end to this. The living entities are unlimited, and these living entities will keep coming to this material world, and the material world will continue like this. They will get more and more opportunity to advance. So in this way, Prabhupada is explaining about the three types of energy: Antaranga Shakti, Tatastha Shakti, and Bahiranga Shakti of the Lord. Next, he continues to the first point of this text, that is Atyahara. Atyahara has two meanings. One is Ahara. Ahara means to have food. And also, Ahara means collection. I need so many things. That is also my Ahara. In the Ashtanga Yoga, we have the fifth stage called as Pratyahara. Pratyahara, here the Ahara is not limited to the meaning of food. It is expanding to the all kinds of food or inputs for all the senses. The eyes, ear, nose, tongue, skin, whatever, the Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, all five kinds of whatever Tanmatra are there. They are the Ahara they are the food for the senses, five kinds of senses, input senses. They all are called Ahara. Now, Atyahara, when we say Atyahara, it is the Ahara of all the senses. Not only to the belly, not only to the tongue. And collecting too much, keeping the things more and more. That is the Atyahara. That is the meaning of Atyahara. Excessive enjoyment of sense objects through any one of the senses and the endeavor to accumulate in excess of one's requirements. Devotees should not accumulate worldly goods like materialists. Now, this can be the cause of our fall down by keeping too many things. So when we keep too many things which are not necessary in our life, it will create attachment. And the attachment to this material world will keep us here only. We have to come back again and again. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. Krishna will not take us back to Godhead if we have any kind of attachment to this material world. And all kinds of renunciants, they are forbidden for accumulating the material goods. A person can only keep the body and soul together. Whatever needed for that, he can take. But one should not accumulate the things more and more. And Prabhupada explains here, Grahastha Vaishnavas can acquire goods sufficient for their maintenance, but not beyond their basic needs. The maintenance is allowed in the material world, but one should not accumulate more than necessary. We can see the animals. If you see, the animals know this principle very well because they don't have the concept of tomorrow. I have to eat tomorrow, so I will keep this for tomorrow. That concept is not there in the animals. They do not eat or collect more than they need, so they do not have scarcity or economic problems. If you observe the animals, they live in the jungle, and all the animals are living in harmony. The food shortage will not be there. Anything there is shortage means that is because of human being. If you find any shortage in any place of this creation, you understand that there is a human being. That's the cause of the problem. The Prabhupada gives the example. Seeing a bag of rice, birds take a few grains, but a human being takes the whole bag. He will carry entire thing. He will take it and he will eat it little every day, and he will not think about others. That is the mentality of a human being. Now, this can be considered in a positive way as well. The animals, they don't have a developed consciousness. Human being has a developed consciousness. We are only thinking about our body, but human being is able to think about the soul. We should understand what I'm going to be once I give up this body. So instead of thinking about tomorrow for the body, if you think about tomorrow for your soul, then your life will be successful. What the living entity, the animals don't think in that manner. What will I, if it is a dog will not think after giving up the body of a dog what I should be. That he will not think, because it is beyond its capacity. But human being has the capacity. You think about tomorrow. That means after death, what you are going to do, where you want to go, what you want to achieve. That facility is there in this human form of life, but unfortunately it is limited to the body. That's why we accumulate more than necessary. Then some of the examples for atyahara are given here. Bhuktikami, Muktikami, Siddhikami, and the materials. That is Bhukti Mukti Siddhikami Sakali Ashanti Krishna Bhakta Nishkama Athaeva Shanta. Bhuktikamis means they are interested in material happiness, or karmis who write books on economic development. All these are called bhukti, bhoga, bhuktikami. And muktikami means desiring impersonal liberation, and jnani philosophers or speculators who over endeavor to acquire knowledge or write books on dry philosophy devoid of bhakti. That is also atyahara. Then siddhi, desiring mystic yoga perfections. The siddhi, when we want to control the other people, or I want to have the control over everything beyond the capacity, whatever material nature has given me to control certain things. If I want to do anything more than that, then it is called siddhikami. Then the materialists who gather knowledge and accumulate the money, all these are called materialistic people. When you have this kind of material desires, what happens? We will be looking for them only. That means whatever the energy is there, it will be used for accumulating or achieving such kind of things in our life. Then we will forget our main purpose of existence, human form of life. Just like in a field, we have the crop and also we have the weed. Now, if our interest is on the weed, then the crop will not be growing properly. We should remove the weeds and throw it away. Then all the ingredients, whatever you are having, it will be used for nurturing the crop. But I am more interested on the weed than the actual crop. I am neglecting to take care of the crop. Then the weeds will grow easily, because weeds, you don't have to put much effort. They'll just fly in the sky, all the seeds. And somehow nobody puts the seed for these weeds, these plants. It just comes there. and nobody takes care of them, they grow. And if you just leave them, they will cover everything. They just becomes everything. All the places will be covered with them, and they never give the flower. They never give the fruits. They don't help you in any kind of maintenance. They just cover the place and make sure that your crops will not grow properly. If you consider this into our life, bad habits, it comes automatically. We don't have to search for it. We get the association of people in this modern society. It is even more easy. The person can easily get into bad habits. He can easily get into so many vices. There is no difficult task for that. And they will not give you any good result, and they will destroy the character of the person, and it will only make sure that the person will not take to spirituality. So that is the weed that can be compared to the bad habits that we have in our life. But if you want to do the crop, then you need to put some effort. Otherwise, it will not grow. You have to make the field ready. Then it's called Vyavasaya. You have to bring the seed by yourself. Which crop you want to grow, you only have to bring the seed. And you should know what is the ingredients that you have to feed for the seed. If you don't give, then the crop will not come. So much of endeavor is there if you want to become a good person, if you want to advance in spirituality. But going along the path of the material life, it is very easy. It is like flowing water. If a person jumps into it, the river and following for regulatory principles, every day reading Prabhupada books, avoiding all the problems that whatever difficulties comes in spiritual life. It is a effort that one person has to do. This atyahara will consume all these things. Our vital energy for chanting the holy name of the Lord will be consumed by the materialistic effort that we perform. And at the end of the life, it will not be useful anywhere. We have to give up everything here and leave. That is why it is called as anartha. Anartha. Artha means something valuable. Money is called artha because it can buy the things for you. But anartha means that which is useless. When the note ban happened, the money one day before it had value, artha. The next day it was anartha. It was not useful. Throughout the life, whatever we gain, if it is only material perspective, if you are doing, then at the time of death, it will not be useful for you. So it is only a anartha. So atyahara will bring us anartha in our life. Whatever we accumulate, it is of no use. And some of the solution that Prabhupada has given here for this, economic problems and solutions. Yeah, atyahara also causes the prayasa, cultivation of knowledge by jnanis, the austerities and oaths undertaken by karmis, and the hard labor of ambitious materialists are all examples of prayasa. If you want to acquire more, you need to work more and more hard. Then economic problems and solutions. What are the solutions that we get? Land and cows. Now, this is the solution for the problem that we have discussed just now. Anyone can live peacefully with the first one, some land for producing grains, a cow that gives milk. So these are the two things. There is no need to move from one place to another to earn a livelihood. Chanakya Pandita says, who is the happiest person in this world? He is the person who has no debt, who has not taken any loan, He don't have to pay anything for anybody. And a person who don't have to travel for his job. The working place is next to his house. Then he is the happiest person in this world. This is the situation in this Vedic lifetime, in the Vedic civilization. The people, they don't have to take any loan for building, taking the flat and paying the EMI for 30-35 years. So, or any big loan like that, or they don't have to travel 2 hours, 3 hours in the city in the so much of dense traffic. The land is next to the house and the cows are there. Cows will take care of the land and land will take care of the cows. The manure that is needed for the land, it's produced by the cows, and the land which is producing so much of crop will take care of the cows. So what is the purpose? What is your job? You just be there, just to see that everything goes on well. And all the profit that comes, it is for you only. What is the cream of this? The cow, it gives the milk. That is for you. Cow will not drink it. And the crop, the fruits and vegetables that you can take, the cow will not eat that. It will only eat the remnants. Whatever dry grass is there, it will eat that itself and it is happy. Give some water, it will eat that, and it will give you the so much milk, which is like the nectar, which is the medicine for everything. The cow milk that you will get it. It was such an ideal situation that we had, but we have lost it now, and we have completely come away from our traditional the lifestyle, which was the varnashrama system. At this moment, we all are making more and more advancement through the modern civilization. And when we are doing this, what happens? We are cutting the trees. We have to make the roads. We are building the buildings bigger and bigger, more and more number of floors. But the people who are living in the villages, they have been taught that unless you go to the city, your life is useless. You have to go to the city. You have to get the degree. And after going to city, what you do? You have to sleep in a small room, and you have to work for somebody, and your happiness is gone. But it is not possible to change the things overnight, but we should know what is real happiness. It is possible. There are a lot of land in villages. Nobody is cultivating. It is simply left like that. It has become a forest, or simply it is weeds are growing. But nobody is there to take care. But once again, changing the lifestyle from city to villages, it's not so easy also. We have to do a lot of effort or sacrifice. First of all, we should be ready to sacrifice this WhatsApp, YouTube, all these things. We will be away from all this. We don't get network there, or you will not be able to buy new model of mobile every time. The modern amenities, like we buy so many gadgets every time a new one will come, you will not be having so much of cash in your hand, because you'll not be able to do the business, or you'll not be making a lot of bank balance. That will not be the goal of life. But when you are in the village, as Prabhupada describes, you have to work only for making the crop. And once the crop is made, it will be stored, and rest of the year you are free. And at that time you can cultivate your spirituality. And the early morning time, every day you can practice spirituality. And the festivals, you can have the festivals very nicely, not like the cities with so much of difficulty. We can bring more and more people, and we are living more near to the nature. We'll realize that we can't live without the Lord. But when we are in the modern civilization, in the city life, we feel that if I have good bank balance, then I don't need anything else. But it is not fact. But that illusion comes. But when you are in the actual field, when you're in the land, we will be able to realize how much I am dependent on this material nature and how this nature is working directly under the control of the Lord. This realization comes for the person. So because of that, if you observe in the villages, if we organize any festivals or any Sankirtan programs, many people will come and join. We don't have to make a lot of advertisement. You just tell them once, they will definitely come. They have a lot of time. They will come and participate. They will help also. But the same thing, if you do it in the city, you will get just one visit of the people. They'll just come and go. They will not stay, or they will not participate, or they will not volunteer for the services. They're very less in number. But the same thing, if you do in the village, it is going on now. ISKCON is taking up the village preaching, where many more and more people are coming to the going to the villages and preaching, and they are making devotees. So why all these things we are discussing here? This is the life of person who is not having atyahara. The atyahara, as soon as we have this concept of atyahara, I want to accumulate more and more things, then our endeavor, all energy will go into that. So that is the atyahara. Atyahara leads to prayasa. I want to make 1 crore of rupees, means I have to work so much every day, 15 hours or 20 hours I have to work every day. That becomes the prayasa. Then then Prabhupada explains about capitalists and communists here. Capitalists accumulate wealth more than needed, and the communists, envious of their prosperity, want to nationalize all wealth. Thus, economic problems continue when people desire their own sense gratification. Now we can divide the entire world into two. That is, one is capitalist, other one is communist. Capitalist, you can see in the American countries, European countries, people, those who work, they become rich. If you are working hard, whatever you earn, it belongs to you and you can be happy. That is the capitalist mentality, where there is cutthroat competition and people cheat each other. They do anything for accumulating money. And communist, what they do, they nationalize the things. Everything belongs to the country and everything should be distributed to all. So that is, in one sense, theoretically, it looks very nice. Communist, you take all the wealth from the entire country or the state and distribute to everyone equally. But the problem here is, the person who is having the capability of working, he will also doesn't work. Because if I'm getting the same thing, whatever, why should I work more than necessary? I will also work less only. So it demotivates the person from working or with his proper talent, and the person will become stagnant. He will not work. That is the communist problem. And also, the leaders who are there in communist, they will enjoy all the property. And it is like dictatorship. The economic difference will be too high. Too high. It will be too much. Then those who are not getting the proper resources, they will revolt against the controlling power and they will take over that. Then there is a lot of problem. But what is the system that Krishna has given? Chaturvarnya maya srishtam guna karma vibhagashaha. Krishna has given the Chaturvarnya. This Chaturvarnya, it is there everywhere. And if it is practiced properly, everyone can become peaceful. And where there is no Chaturvarnya, there nobody can remain peaceful. The Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. If the what happens is, the Brahmana will be given education at the very early life in the Gurukula. What is the education that is given? The purpose of life is to go back to Godhead. This knowledge is given at the very early stage of life. Within the age of 25, the person is capable of leading the entire society, a Brahmana education in Gurukula system. And he knows that purpose of life is to go back to Godhead and take others also back to Godhead. When this goal is set at the very beginning itself, then nobody is going to exploit others. Kshatriyas are given education to be subordinate to the Brahmanas, take advice from the Brahmanas, and then rule the country. And ruling the country, how they have to do? They are the Rajarshis. Rajarshi means they have to take care of the country, the state, but they are the servants. They have to give protection to the entire citizen. And they are the servants of the Lord. They are not the masters. And Vaishyas, they will grow the crop and they pay the tax to the government. And this tax will be distributed for the welfare of everyone. And Shudras will serve all the other categories of the people. So like this, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra, they will work in harmony. If we are able to achieve this, then the whole world can become peaceful. But the problem is here, at this present moment, the Gurukula education system is destroyed. It is because of so many reasons. And we don't know that the purpose of life is go back to Godhead. We have removed the Lord from the center. Now, when you remove Lord from the center, there are so many other things that can keep there. Some people keep themselves at the center. Some people keep their pet dog in the center. Or some people will keep their beautiful car in the center. So purpose of life is to become very famous, to become very rich, or to have a very expensive car, or to have a very good pet dog, take him in every morning, like that. So that purpose is lost, then entire system will get collapsed. But at the same time, Varnashrama system is still capable of taking care of the society. This present Varnashrama system is like a dead elephant. What is dead elephant? A dead elephant cannot do the job of a living elephant. A living elephant can do so many things for you. But a dead elephant also has some value. You can use it and make some money. Similarly, the faith that people have today on the temples or in the Vedic science, it will keep a peaceful society, a peaceful environment. People are fearing God. So only that much contribution it is giving, so that people will not loot each other. But the actual concept, Vedeshta Sarve Rahameva Vedyaha, that is lost. Why temples are there? Now people are going there, they do some puja, they pray to the Lord, oh Lord, I have this problem, that problem, please solve this. When that problem is solved, they go and give some dakshina for the Lord. So Lord is like my order carrier. Okay, that is also okay. That can manage the society, but it has a higher purpose. Now see the other place where there is no Varnashrama system. You can see the neighboring countries, either it may be Afghanistan or Syria. There is no Brahmana education. There is no Kshatriya protection. People are killing each other. Every day there is bomb blast. Nobody can live in that environment. So the absence of Varnashrama system is the total collapse of the society. People will become like animals or like insects. They will eat each other. So neither the capitalism nor the communism is the solution. It is the Varnashrama system which has to be developed. Prabhupada has made this movement, Krishna consciousness movement, to produce Brahmanas. When we have good Brahmanas, I'm not talking about the birth Brahmanas. It is the Brahmana, Brahmajanati iti Brahmana. Those Brahmanas, those who know the purpose of life and who can teach the purpose of life to the other people, they can make the society. They can bring back the Vaikuntha to this earth even in this Kali Yuga. That is possible. Yeah. So next, continuing, Prajalpa. Prajalpa means unnecessarily talking. Examples, there are many examples for Prajalpa. Jnani, Karmi, materialists. Jnanis are having dry scholarship that amounts to nothing more than useless scriptural arguments. The real purpose of reading scripture is lost. They are making the dry speculation. And Karmis, they are just praising the material benefits and rituals. They are interested in the Karmakanda portions. And materialists, those who are talking about pleasing to the senses, those who have material desires. And we have so many contributing factors like the newspapers, magazines, novels, playing cards, fishing, television, debates on useless political issues. All these things are Prajalpa. And Niyamagraha. Niyamagraha means there are two meanings for this. Niyama agraha, Niyama agraha. Following the rules and regulations, not for the purpose, just for the sake of following, just to make a show that I am following this, but doesn't know what is the real purpose. Second one is Niyama agraha, means not at all following the rules and regulations. So these are two things, Niyama agraha and Niyama agraha. Niyama means rules. Agraha means eagerness to accept. And agraha means failure to accept. So Niyama agraha has two forms, Niyama agraha and Niyama agraha. Niyama agraha, here, even though the person is following it, but he is not fulfilling the purpose. So some of the examples are to accept scriptural rules for immediate material benefits such as attaining heaven, the Karmakanda portions. Then that is called Niyama agraha. The real purpose of spiritual practice is go back to Godhead, but I am just doing it for some material benefit. So then it becomes a Niyama agraha. To remain overzealous, to adhere to the lower rules even after attaining a higher qualification. Even though the person is capable of practicing spirituality, but still because he is lazy or he is not ready to accept the rules and regulations, he will stick to the lower platform itself, remaining in the lower platform itself. That is also Niyama agraha. And accepting the rules of Jnana Shastra to obtain liberation. This liberation to the Brahma Jyoti is also considered here as Niyama agraha. And to be attached to scriptural rules of pragmatism with a desire for sensual enjoyment in this life or the next. That anything that is done other than satisfying Krishna is considered as Niyama agraha. Whatever rules and regulations, the endeavor or the tapasya, austerity that we perform, which is not meant for the pleasure of the Lord, it becomes a Niyama agraha. And Niyama agraha means neglecting the Shastric rules and regulations, and which doesn't help in advancing in Bhakti, failure to observe the rules that nourish the Bhakti, absence of faith, neglecting to wear the spiritual aspects, like we can wear the tilaka and kantimala. All these things we wear, and we are chanting japa, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and eating prasadam. These all are the rules and regulations that we are following. And if we are not following it, then it becomes a Niyama agraha. The instructions, whatever the spiritual master has given, it has to be followed. Now, niyama agraha, when we are performing devotional service, when we know that this has to be done, and if we don't do it, then it is a niyama agraha. But those who are ignorant about it, then they will be excused because they don't know about it. But once the person comes to know about spiritual life, what is to be done, what is not to be done, what is right, what is wrong, then still the person is continuing in the materialistic life, then that is also called niyama agraha. So these are all the niyama agraha. Then the next fifth one is janasanga, bad association, associating with the people who are not devotees, persons not interested in Krishna consciousness, or the Mayavadis who simply blaspheme the devotees, and Bhukti Kami, Mukti Kami, Siddhi Kami, all these devotees, all these people, and atheists, worldly and sensualist persons. These are called as Janasanga. Any kind of association that destroys our bhakti is the Janasanga. And what is good association? Living in the association of devotees, Krishna conscious devotees, that is Bhakti Sanavasa, engage in the devotional service of the Lord. Next, finally, sixth one is Laulyam. Laulyam means greed. Laulya, that is unsteadiness and greed. It has two meaning. Laulya, unsteadiness in the practice, or different kinds of conclusions that we come in the spiritual subject matter, fickleness of mind to accept different kinds of false doctrines or conclusions. These comes under laulyam. That means we don't have steadiness in our spiritual practice. Or greed, which is like attachment for useless material sense enjoyment or worthless opinions, like the desire for perfecting mystic yoga. When you practice spirituality very seriously, then this kind of desires will come in the mind. I can go to heaven, or I can control others, I can read others' mind, or I can fly in the air. These things may come. So understand that this is a laulya. It's a weed that is growing in the field. So remove it and throw it away. Merging into the existence of Brahman, attaining whimsical material prosperity. These things are visible. When we come to spirituality, we get a lot of honor. People start praising us. Everyone say you are so great. So these things can destroy our spirituality if we don't understand what they mean. They are actually praising the Lord. The example you can take, if a bulb or a fan is able to give you light or air, the credit goes to the energy that is within that. Without the energy supply, it cannot work. And that energy is coming from the Lord. Because we are serving the Lord, we are following the instructions of spiritual master, some good things are visible in us, some good qualities. But it doesn't belong to us. It belongs to the Lord. It belongs to the Guru. So we should give to them. All the credit goes to the Lord, Guru and Krishna. So what we can conclude from this text is, if one fails to give up these 6 unfavorable things to bhakti, then what happens? One's ability to understand the greatness of Krishna bhakti will be lost. I will not be able to understand the bhakti to the fullest extent. I'll be satisfied with the limited things, whatever benefits I am getting. That is what Bhagavad Gita says. Yamimam pushpitam vacham pravadanti avipaschitaha. Those who are not intelligent, they get satisfied in the flowery language itself. Or when a tree gives the flower, you pluck the flower itself and you be satisfied with it. But if you leave the flower like that to grow, then it will give you the fruit. And that fruit is more valuable than the flower. Then second part is, one will be forever deviated from the path of bhakti. A person who is in trouble, he will come to spirituality. But a person who came to spirituality and started getting the material benefits, for him there is hardly any chance that he will come back to the real spirituality. He will just remain there. He will just settle there. So for such people, sometimes Krishna makes very favorable one slap he will give, so that he will lose everything. This happens. Prabhupada also says, when you come to Krishna Bhakti, and if any failure happens in your life, be happy that Krishna is going to give you something more. He will take away everything, whatever you have, and he will make you to surrender completely to him. This happens only to the very advanced devotees. When Prabhupada lost all his business, he tells the same thing. Yasyaham anugrahinami. The Srimad Bhagavatam shloka comes. Whomever I show the favor, if I become very happy with somebody, then what I do, this is Krishna is telling, I will take away all his material possessions and I will make him alone. That means all his relatives, friends will all go away because he doesn't have anything. And finally, he will surrender only to Krishna and he has nothing else to do. Then he will advance in his spirituality. Then Krishna will give him everything. So this is how it happens. So that's why many people don't take to Krishna Bhakti. They will go to demigods because they'll keep you wherever you are. What you want, you take and be happy. Don't disturb me. So by avoiding these six elementary faults, all enmity will cease between men and animals, capitalist and communist, and so forth. All economic or political problems of maladjustment and instability will be solved. One can cultivate such pure consciousness by proper spiritual education and practice. So this is the text number 2. Coming to text number 3, virtues to be imbibed. These are the 6 things. Utsaha nischayat dhairyat tat karma pravartanat sangatyagat sato vritte shardhir bhakti prasidhyati. Now, what is bhakti? Bhakti is not a speculation. It's not a sentiment. It is not an imagination. It is not a idle meditation. Bhakti is to be done practically. It is a service. That's why Prabhupada says devotional service. He will not say devotion. Bhakti means devotional service or bhakti seve. Bhakti is a practical action, that is a cultivation. And Uttama Bhakti or unalloyed devotional service unto the Lord Krishna is that which is favorable, unmotivated, and is devoid of fruitive karma or impersonal jnana and all such desires. Anya abhilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukulyena krishnanushilanam bhaktiruttama. The anukulyena, it should be favorable to the Lord. Now, if we come to bhakti, then it will stop all nonsensical mundane activities and engages one in meaningful devotional activity. A person comes to devotional service means his activity will change. His activity will become pleasing to Krishna, and it will he will give up all his anartha. Whatever bad habits he has, it will go away automatically. In practicing the bhakti, that means we have to practice bhakti, that is sure, and we should do it in utsaha, with full eagerness, with full enthusiasm. And Prahlad Maharaj has given 9 processes. You can do this bhakti in 9 processes. That is beginning with the Shravanam. Shravanam means hearing the names and glories of Krishna. This we have discussed so many times. Hearing Krishna Katha is not like hearing any mundane activities, because Krishna is absolute, and when we hear about Krishna, Krishna is there. Krishna is present at that particular moment. How glorious it is. Just think, the person who is the controller of the entire universe is present in the situation when you are glorifying him. It is really a great knowledge that we get through this book or through Srila Prabhupada. You can bring that person who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead just by calling his name. Nobody else will come like that. Whatever, if you call the Prime Minister's name, he will not come here. If you call the Chief Minister name, he will also not come. Even your own children may not come when you call. But the Lord is there. When you call, he is there. That is the absolute nature of the Lord. So when we hear about the Lord is present at that moment. And if we keep hearing about him, then it will purify our existence. That is the Shravanam. Kirtanam, here chanting. When we hear more and more about the Lord, we speak about him. We speak what we hear. If you hear only about the commentary of news, the commentary of match, or if you watch movies, then what we discuss with people, we discuss about this only. Nobody has to train you in this. It comes automatically. Who is your favorite actor? Who is your favorite actress? What they did in this movie, which is the latest movie? What happened in the cricket match? These things only come because that is what we hear. When we hear about Krishna, automatically we speak about Krishna. We remember the pastimes of Krishna. In every situation in our life, we can compare it to the pastimes of the Lord. What the Lord did at this kind of situation, how we can compare it to the things that are happening in my life. So this is all possible only by hearing, Shravana. And when we hear, we can speak about the Lord, that is Kirtanam. So what we get, we have to give back. Then Smaranam, remembering the Lord. When Shravana and Kirtana is very strong, then Smarana will become manifested. That means you can remember the Lord all the time. Pada Sevanam, serving the lotus feet of the Lord. This is available to Lakshmi Devi, or pure devotees of the Lord. We will not be able to do direct seva, but we can do the Archana for the Lord. That is, we can serve the Archa Vigraha of the Lord. Archanam, that comes to the next one, worshipping Krishna's deity. Then Vandanam, offering obeisances to Krishna. We should offer obeisances to the Lord as many times as possible. Early morning to evening. So many times we take the darshan of the Lord. We perform so many devotional activities. We should do Vandanam to the Lord. Then Dasyam, acting as Krishna's servant, doing the service of the Lord, offering flowers to the Lord, or if you have the deities, you can bathe the Lord, or you can dress the Lord. Like a servant, how all the activities he will do, all these things we can do to the Lord. And Sakyam Atma Nivedanam, this is very exalted state. We cannot make friendship with the Lord at this present moment. Then it will become an offense. We should keep the distance. Even though we are worshipping Krishna, Radha Krishna worship in ISKCON, but still the mood is Lakshmi Narayana. Lakshmi Narayana worship and Radha Krishna worship. The difference is, in Radha Krishna worship, the friendship is very prominent. In Vrindavan, the Gopas also worshipping Krishna. How it is? They put their hand on the shoulder of Krishna and they make Krishna to carry them from one place to another. They play with Krishna. All these things are also worship of the Lord because the Lord is pleased. Anukulyana. But we are not supposed to do that. We are with awe and reverence, we should offer the obeisances to the Lord, like Lakshmi Narayana. That is, Lord is the king. We are his servants. We should do devotional service to the Lord. And Atma Nivedanam, fully surrendering to the Lord completely. This comes after advancing in spiritual life. So at least we can start with Shravanam. Shravanam, Kirtanam, and Smaranam. These three things are the first steps that we can keep in the in our devotional life. As Prabhupada says, read at least 2 hours my books. You can read in one stretch 2 hours, or you can read half an hour in the morning, or half an hour in the noon when you get time, and half an hour in the evening, and half an hour in the night. It's not very difficult because we spend so much of time on our WhatsApp. At least we spend 15 minutes in the morning and 15 or 20 minutes in the afternoon and half an hour in the evening. And before sleep also we keep some 15 to 20 minutes. Similarly, it is not difficult to keep some time for reading Prabhupada books. And that makes the life perfect. So that is Shravanam. When Shravanam is there, everything will follow. If your Shravanam is strong, your chanting will be good. Your serving will be good. You know what are the etiquettes of devotees. You know what is there in Shastra. You know what Prabhupada has taught us. This is the order of Prabhupada. Everyone must study my books, not just reading. We should understand what he has given. By reading books of Prabhupada, we are associating with Prabhupada. We are associating with the pure devotee of the Lord daily. This is the greatest benefit. Prabhupada said, I live in my books. And we can understand the heart of Prabhupada. Whatever instructions that he has given, we will understand it. So everything belongs from the Shravanam. You can get the guidance from the Guru. The first step in Bhakti is to approach a bona fide Guru and acquire transcendental knowledge from him through oral reception, that is Shravana, by submissive inquiries and service. Tadvijnanartam sagurumeva bhigachet, Mundakopanishad. Then comes the Nishchaya, confidence. The jivas are by nature pleasure seeking, anandamaya abhyasat. The material world is a place of confinement for them. Not knowing the process of liberation, they wander in the universe in different species and planets, that is transmigration. This is confinement, sorry, not confidence. This is confinement, how the living entity is bound in the material world. Then what is the liberation? A fortunate soul may receive the seed of Bhakti, Bhakti creeper, by the grace of Guru and Krishna and attain liberation. That is Guru Krishna Prasadepaya Bhakti Lata Bija Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavana Jiva Guru Krishna Prasadepaya Bhakti Lata Bija. So there are very few jiva, they'll receive this seed of devotional service and then they will come to the Bhakti. And to attain this perfection in this Bhakti Yoga, one has to perform devotional service anukulyena, favorable under the direction of a Guru. Now coming to the points one by one. Utsaha, that is enthusiasm in Bhakti. This Utsaha we can see, it comes by the grace of the Lord himself. Anybody who comes to Krishna consciousness at the very beginning, the person will look very Utsaha. If we chant if you ask him to chant one round, and if you say you have to come to 16 round standard after some time, the person will say, no, I will start today itself. I'll chant 16 round today itself. Or they'll say, I'll fast. They'll say everything, yes. But after some time, that Utsaha will go away. That is like, it's a boon that Krishna gives. He will give some nectar. He will give that taste. But if you're maintaining that taste, if you're maintaining that practice, then it will grow. But most of the case, people lose that Utsaha. They will lose that enthusiasm. Their attention or attraction gets deviated. They get something, they feel something is better than this. So that Utsaha will go. Endeavor executed with intelligence in Krishna consciousness. An action for Krishna, that is Krishnarte Akhila Cheshta. Following the limbs of Bhakti with great respect, to resolutely execute the limbs of sadhana Bhakti while remaining indifferent to the cultivation of jnana, karma and material enjoyment. All these comes under Utsaha. Success in any field, either spiritual or material, requires enthusiasm. One should accept the opportunity to go back to Godhead and carry out the rules and that enhance the Bhakti very enthusiastically. Next comes the Nishchaya. Nishchaya means confidence or faith. Have faith, have confidence that Krishna will definitely show his mercy. When we start devotional service, practicing devotional service, the result may not be visible immediately. It may take some time. For some people, it may come very fast. For some people, it may take more time. It is like a dry wood and a wet wood. It is what you have done in your previous life. It all depends on that. If you already done a lot of devotional service in your previous life, then taking to Krishna consciousness, it's very easy. The person can pick up very fast. Even from the childhood itself, the person may get the opportunity. But if it is late also, it is better than never. If you are practicing spirituality, if the wood is wet, then it will give a lot of smoke. That means you will get a lot of trouble in practicing devotional service. You may not be able to continue, or there may be so many reasons for you to stop your devotional service. But if you still continue with whatever possibilities you have, then you will be able to achieve it. So that is called as confidence or nischaya. Have firm faith and confidence in the statements of scriptures and the Guru, whose words are fully in line with the scriptures. And Bhagavad Bhakti alone is the ultimate objective of all living beings. That activities other than Bhakti, such as Jnana, Karma, or Yoga, they do not yield any enduring benefit, but make one restless. These are the words of the Guru and Krishna. Then surrender involves confidence in Krishna's protection. If you are surrendering to Krishna, means I know that Krishna is going to protect me. Next, the dhairya. Dhairya means patience. Here in Kannada we have dhairya. That is not that meaning here. This dhairya is having patience, fortitude in the practice of bhakti, even in the midst of all kinds of obstacles. Even though there is a lot of trouble, you should continue. That you will definitely achieve that perfection and patience during the practice stage of bhakti, even when there is delay in attaining one's desired goal, but still one should continue his practice. It is any kind of difficulty that may come, don't give up. Continue your activity. That is the dhairya. Firm conviction that path of bhakti is the sole constitutional path for all jivas. And it is the determination. Then comes tattat karma pravartana, that is executing the principles. Karma pravartana, performing the rules and regulations that are given by the spiritual master faithfully, strictly, enthusiastically, which can nourish the bhakti. That is the tattat karma pravartanat. There are vidhi and nisheda. Vidhi means what you have to perform, and nisheda or prohibition, which you should give up. So vidhi is to hear about the Lord and chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra daily, 16 rounds. And prohibition means nisheda, no illicit sex, no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication. Give up material sense enjoyment for the pleasure of Krishna. Then fifth one, sangatyaga, avoiding the materialistic association. Here sangha doesn't mean devotional, devotee sangha. Devotee sangha is nourishing the devotional service. But here the sangatyaga, this sangha is the materialistic association we should give up. Undesirable association, which includes the company of karmi, jnani, yogi, or non-devotees, atheists, or all these people. They are not conducive for our devotional service. So such kind of association has to be given up. Then satovritti, following the previous acharyas, the footsteps of previous acharyas, adopting the good behavior and virtuous conduct of pure devotees. This is called as the satovritti. The word acharya means acharati, one who performs himself whatever he preaches. That is, he is the acharya. So such kind of person we can follow, and following them is called satovritti. So in this way, the ultimate path is engagement in bhakti, is the life and soul of the living entity. It is the desired goal and supreme perfection of human life, and there is no fall down. Name bhakta pranashyati. Neha vikramanasosti pratyavayo na vidyate. Swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Devotees of Krishna will never fall down. And there is no loss in bhakti. Success is guaranteed. It is like bhakti. It is also considered as a entering into a mafia. In mafia, once you enter, you can't get out because you know too much. Either they will kill you or you should be with them. Because you know so much information that you may become detrimental for their life. Once you come to bhakti, you will get the knowledge of this material world, the reality of this material world, and also the knowledge of the spiritual world. So you cannot live a materialistic life anymore. If you are trying to do that, then from within, the knowledge that you have gained, it will burn you. It will start picking you. You can't do this. If you do this, this is the punishment. You have read in Bhagavatam, there is a description of hell. If you do this mistake, this is a punishment. So if you are now you are doing this, so then be ready for this problem. This problem is going to come to you in future. So be ready. So success is guaranteed means you will definitely take to Krishna consciousness. You will definitely win this. You will definitely go back to Godhead. There is no doubt about it. It may take little or more time. That is the only point. So success is definitely. And there is lot of chance for resuming. Even though person falls down, Krishna gives one more chance, one more chance. Like that, he is ready to wait for millions of lifetime. But we should not take that as an advantage. We should try to finish this business as soon as possible. And it is causeless and ceaseless. Bhakti is not the effect of any mundane cause. It is ahaituki. Krishna is giving out of his mercy. And there is no cause for that. He is just giving it. Just like parents take care of their children. There is no cause. There is no reason why they are doing. They are doing it out of love. And nor can it be terminated or permanently curtailed by any material interruption. Apratihata. It cannot be destroyed at any point. All good qualities automatically develop in the character of a devotee. A person who is a devotee, yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana sarvai gunays tatra samasate sura. Haro abhaktasya kuto mahadguna manorathe nasato dhavato vahi. And no material contamination can come. A devotee is not interested in any material activity. Jnani, karmi, yogi, or philanthropist, nationalist, etc. cannot be called Mahatmas. They are Duratmas. They cannot be considered as Mahatmas. Now there is a group exercise. Atyahara and Prajalpa, Niyamagraha and Tatat Karma Pravartana, Utsahan, Nishchayat and Dhairyat, and Janasanga, Sangatyaga, Satovritte. These are the 5 things. What you need to do is summarize your topics, main points, give special attention to analogies, examples, quoted verses given by Prabhupada's purport. So there are now 10 people. We combine this into 2. First 2 will take together and make 2 groups. Atyahara, Prayas, Prajalpa, Niyamagraha, Tattat Karma Pravartanat. This will give to the first group. Utsaha, Nishchaya, Dhairya, Janasanga, Sangatyaga, Satovritte. This is for the second group so that we can manage with the small group. Now you have breakout room for 5 minutes. Please note down the topics and summarize whatever you have understood. Any questions regarding the activity? You can raise your hand. Yes, Archana Mataji.
Prabhuji, are we supposed to give the examples?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, what is there in Prabhupada? Same thing we have to, or like general example can we give?
You can repeat the words, Mataji. You can repeat the words of Prabhupada.
Oh, general should not be given.
Whatever realization you have, you can include.
Oh, okay.
So summarize your topics like analogy, examples, whatever quoted verses are there. Yeah. Hope everything is clear for you. If you want, you can take a screenshot of this.
Prabhu, which group you gave? Which one? How many topics you gave, Prabhu? First two questions are for the first group, and last three topics are for the second group.
Yes. Which group you join, that is in your hand. I make the breakout room. Hope it's clear for all. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, 5 minutes there are there for your preparation. 2 minutes for presentation. Your time starts now.
Prabhuji, we didn't have two people in our room. We were only three of us. So it was little difficult to attempt 6 topics or something between three of us.
It's okay. Whatever you have done, you can. Okay, welcome back to the discussion. Archana Mataji, you can start.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, it is given in this text that whatever we do with intelligence in Krishna consciousness is called utsaha or enthusiasm. So we are having utsaha, nishchaya, dhairya, janasanga and sangatyaga, those topics, Prabhuji. So utsaha, we are actually doing anything in presence of Krishna consciousness is called utsaha. And for that, quoted, there is an example given in the Prabhuji, from this book only we are saying the example, right, Prabhuji?
Yeah, you can. Yes,
so in this, we have the example of sorry, Prabhuji, I left it. A person keeps migrating from one place to other. He keeps wandering in the same world from one living entity to other. He is not going back to Godhead because he's been held in the clutches of Maya. But if he is in Krishna consciousness, he can develop the interest in going back to Godhead, so that he is moving. He is not keeping on in this life cycle of birth and death. He is coming out of it. So that one example is quoted here by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And a student, businessman, artist, or anyone else who want to success in his life must be enthusiastic. So he is giving one example as Prabhupada gives one example of how an enthusiastic person will be performing. Similarly, in Krishna consciousness, if we perform enthusiastically, we are going back to Godhead. So this is the example given. And second one is Nandita Mataji will continue.
okay.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
second one, Prabhu, it was Nishchayad and Dhairyad.
Yeah.
Nishchayad, we couldn't make out much unless Puja Mataji wants to support me and say something. We were a very small team, Prabhu, and so much we had. Puja Mataji, Nishchayad, you'll help me. I'll go with Dhairyad.
You go ahead with Dhairyat, I have to say. Even Nishchayat, I have nothing to
Prabhu, we are
say.
still reading.
No, it's okay, Mataji. Whatever you have prepared, you will present. That's enough.
Dhairyat was patience, Prabhu.
Yeah.
And you had also explained that it's not like right in the beginning we can have expectations of, you plant a seed, you can't have the fruit the next day. So it is only, even in devotional service, it is only through consistency and endeavor we get some fruit in this lifetime. And the example that was given was that a newly married girl cannot have a baby like immediately after a marriage, because it takes time to fructify for a baby to be born. And Nishchayat was 1 minute, Prabhu. We're going back and front in the book. Puja Mataji, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'll just cover Nishchayat, I'll start to say, and with the Tat Karma Pravartana and Janasanga Tyagam. Mainly here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said that all the devotional service, it has to be done with the Nishchaya, and it has to be truly done. And then it has to be followed with all the regulative principles, that one has to follow all the regulative principles. And in addition to these prohibitions, Yama, Niyama, there are positive regulative principles such as daily chanting, 16 rounds of Japamala beads. These regulative principles must be faithfully with the Nishchaya. It has to be performed with the enthusiasm, and this is called Tat Karma Pravartana, and with the engagement in the devotional service. And then Janasanga is something which has to be with the association with devotees. So the association with non-devotees has to be completely stopped, and one should not really characteristically, a Vaishnava is one who gives up all the association of worldly people or the non-devotees. That is, one should really give up all these association, because the first step of Bhakti Marga is Shraddha, and after that is Sadhu Sangha. So one has to really follow all these principles. Following all these principles, the Sadhu Sangha and Bhajan Kriya, this will create that association of devotees, which will really advance one in the devotional service. So this is how one should go, and that's it, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, may I add on one more point, Prabhuji?
Yes.
The
Please,
confidence,
Mataji, please.
there is one more thing given for confidence. We have to be confident that definitely Krishna will come and protect us. Avashya Rakshibe Krishna. So always we should be sure and we should be confident that Krishna will come and protect us. We should have that faith in our mind and proceed. So definitely we can be successful, Prabhuji. This is called confidence. This is mentioned here, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Siddharth Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dhanavad Pranam Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
In fact, we have 5 items and we have five people. So we'll take one by one. We have distributed. So I am taking Niyamagraha. So Niyamagraha is, and after that, one by one, everybody will take. So Niyamagraha basically is combination of 2 words. One is Niyama and other is Agraha or Agraha. Agraha means not accept. That means somebody is not following the Niyama. So that means he or she is not following the regulative principles. So he's violating the principles, whether it is 4 regulative principles or any Vaishnava principle, he's simply neglecting and violating that. So that is Niyama Agraha. So, for example, all this meat eating, illicit sex, etc. That is, if somebody is doing that, then that is Niyama Agraha. Not doing 16 Mala, that is part of Niyama Agraha. Whereas Niyama Agraha is, I am doing many things, I have Agraha. But then this Agraha is not, Krishna is not in the central theme of my Agraha, of my interest. My interest is some materialistic achievement. So therefore, Niyama Agraha is also supposed to be avoided, because then I become Karma Kandi and I show a lot of Agraha. I mean, from externally, I am seen as somebody who is maybe devotee, who comes, attends functions, do a lot of things. But the tendency or the reason which I am building inside me is something else. Maybe I am going to for meetings, I am going to a temple, I go to congregations. Maybe I am thinking that I should build up some network, and so that I build up my business. So it could be many things. So, and also, Karma Kanda, do yagyas, etc., following the Vedic principles. However, with an intention that I go to Swarga, get a lot of benefits, etc., etc. So this is Niyama Agraha, and difference between Niyama Agraha and Niyama Agraha. Hare Krishna. Anu Mataji, Akila Mataji, all please join with your topics. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji, please.
My topic is Tat Karma Pravartant.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, here we have to follow the rules and regulations. That's what 4 regulative principle. Everything we have to supposed to follow. Whatever might be the thing we have to follow. For best example I can give is in our home, no, they were not ready to for this. What Ekadasi first thing, they was not allowing. They used to tell, first of all, you're very thin. Still, if you become thin, people tell you are not eating, we are not giving food for you. That's what the case. Any course they were not allowing. So, but just I was waiting with enthusiastic one or other day. They may alone. But it was very difficult. But finally, a day come where my mother's one of the close relative got admitted in the hospital. At that time, my mother told, anyhow, you are a girl, right, Kanya, right? Goddess or God will be very pleased to you. Please ask some harake. You ask. At that time, I took that as an opportunity. I told, I'll take Ekadashi was lifelong. She told, no, not lifelong, at least 1 year. What, Prabhuji? 1 year. So that's what, I took 1 year.
Okay.
Uh,
Now it's
now
fine.
is it okay?
Yes, yes. Now it's fine.
She told only 1 year. And so on like 2023 February, 1 year got over. Then I told, no, renewal is required. No, you had to, supposed to like allow me. So somehow they are allowing, Prabhuji. That's
Okay.
what. Like if not Shakti in Yukti say, somehow we have to follow these rules, I feel, Prabhuji. That's what.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Siddharth Prabhu, you want to add something?
No, but in our group, Anu Mataji is there, Maina Mataji is there. They're supposed to add.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam. My topic is Prajalpa. So Prajalpa is unnecessary talk. Like we will talk mundane talk about the world. So the best example here I can say is croaking toad. Like the frog, he will be making sound, and the sound, because of the sound, the snake get attracted and he get killed. And the other example which I want to share is like, for example, like we are doing chanting. While doing chanting, we will be in other mood. We will be watching WhatsApp or like talking to other devotee. So that are also the part of Prajalpa, like unnecessary talk, which is not a part of Krishna consciousness or not the part of Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Anu Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, I was given Atyahara Prayasascha. This means overeating or too much collecting, and Prayasas is over enduring. The example Prabhupada gives us of animal kingdom. Animals go by the nature which has been provided to them by Lord. Camel, etc. can store food because they have been given a body which can store food for a long period. There is no concept of economy and a PhD from Oxford for economics. They eat, and if they don't get, they fast. They don't worry about whether they are going to get a meal tomorrow or not. They are surrendered to the situation they are in. So they are part of the cycle of food. Each animal is some food for some other animal, and their nature is not cheating. If a bag of rice is placed, birds will maybe have a few bits more and have a upset tummy, but they will not carry the bag home in their nest. They make their nest, keep their nest very clean. So this problem of collecting and eating causes more endeavor, and it if a human being doesn't get a gulab jamun, they will order it from Zomato at 12 o'clock in night and has it, because it's the senses are of human beings always go more haywire than that of animals. They work unnecessarily and they satisfy a variety of their senses unnecessarily. And here example is given, Prabhupada says, of dharma. Dharma doesn't mean is meant for ultimate liberation, where you gave the example of varnashram, that it is meant for liberation and it is not for occupational engagement. If followed, this should not be used for material gain, but it should be used as a means to liberate oneself from the cycle of birth and death. And it's, as you said, Guru, Shastra, and the third one I don't remember. It should be followed for varnashram, and this will help the person to remove himself from unnecessary birth and death. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Anybody else want to add? Yes, Shweta Mataji, you want to say something?
Too much atyahara can cause prayasa or unnecessary endeavor. So at present, human intelligence are used for getting more than necessary and simply eating to satisfy the tongue. but we can just live by some land and a milk cow. And so simple living, high thinking is better, wherein we can get more time for our spiritual life. And but people at present, they think it is very primitive way of life. Yeah. So a spiritual aspirant should avoid mundane endeavor for unnecessary things. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Okay, let us hear from Prabhupada now. Those who would like to read can raise their hand. Archana Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Atyahara. Unfortunately, people accept religion for material prosperity because of Atyahara or an excessive desire for such prosperity. True religion, however, instructs people to be satisfied with the bare necessities of the life while cultivating Krishna consciousness. Even though we require economic development, true religion allows it only for supplying the bare necessities of material existence. Jivasya tattva jijnasa. The real purpose of life is to inquire about the absolute truth. Sri Upadeshamrita, text 2, purport. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Siddharth Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. This Krishna consciousness movement was started single-handedly, and in the beginning there was no response. But because we continued to execute our devotional activities with patience, people gradually began to understand the importance of this movement, and now they are eagerly participating. One should not be impatient in discharging devotional service, but should take instructions from the spiritual master and execute them with patience, depending on the mercy of Guru and Krishna. Sri Upadeshamrita, text 3, purport. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Nandita Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Nischayad. Devotional service is so pure and perfect that once having begun, one is forcibly dragged to ultimate success. There are certainly many good qualities among fruitive actors, philosophical speculators, and mystic yogis, but all good qualities automatically develop in the character of a devotee. No extraneous endeavor is needed. Sri Upadeshamrita, text 3, purport. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, Siddharth Prabhu.
Sattva hai, and Sattva dealing very straightforward. No diplomacy, no politics, no duplicity. That will not help. Sattva Brita, his profession should be very, very straightforward. No underhand dealings. Purport to Nrsimha prayers, Los Angeles, August 2, 1970. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Archana Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Niyamagraha.
Just a minute.
Niyama agraha, eagerness to accept, practicing the scriptural rules and regulation only for the sake of following them. Niyama agraha, failure to accept.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Nandita Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Niyamagraha. Expert religionists know perfectly well how to adjust religious principles in terms of time and place. All the great acharyas or religious preachers or reformers of the world executed their mission by adjustment of religious principles in terms of time and place. There are different climates and situations in different parts of the world. And if one has to discharge his duties to preach the message of the Lord, he must be expert in adjusting things in terms of the time and place. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 9, verse 9 purport. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Pooja Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Sadhe Pranam. This Krishna consciousness movement offers a spiritual community that can bring about a peaceful condition in the world. Every intelligent man should purify his consciousness and rid himself of the above mentioned 6 hindrances to devotional service by taking wholehearted shelter of this Krishna consciousness movement. Shri Upadeshamrita text 2 purport. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. So with this, we have come to the conclusion of today's session. This is text number 2 and 3 from Nectar of Instruction. If you have any doubts, any questions in today's session, you can raise your hand and ask a question. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yeah, Siddharth Prabhu, you have any question?
No, I don't have any question. I think my hand was raised before.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Akhila Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Yes, Mataji.
Audible, right?
Yes,
Guruji, like actually in our home, no, they don't allow me to wear kanti mala and put nama. So reason, like there have various reasons, Prabhuji. Like in earlier in Vedic times, no, there was like no difference between man and like Stri or Nar or Nari. But in the middle of the thing, no, due to foreign invaders, Sati system, many systems have come. That to know my mother's great grandmother, like when she was widow, no, like after widow, like they used to wear maroon sari and like tulsi mala and that nama to carry devotional service. Only one time they have to eat food. Those things, rest all the time they have to read granthas. What my mom says means, if I wear kanti mala, she remembers that kindly don't wear. What can I do? That's
it is like imposing certain things on somebody.
What can I do?
Yeah, making them to get into spirituality. But those who are voluntarily taking to that also will be considered in the same category. That is unfortunate.
They know spirituality, they know all this, but Advaita system, they don't have much faith in Bhakti system. They know Bhakti, but they feel that is blind belief. That's what.
Yeah, never mind. External appearance is secondary. You are chanting 16 rounds, following 4 regulative principles, means rest all the things will be taken care. Okay. Just like you had an opportunity for Ekadashi.
Yeah.
Lord only
similarly, Mangalarti also like that only. They used to tell, oh, everything is your blind belief. Oh, I can't convince them, can't confuse them. Then finally, once, Prabhuji, in Hindi class I'll attend, like evening, Gaurav Prabhuji, he was telling, like, you people are not animals, you people are like human beings, you have to attend. His words, like it really affected my consciousness. 2 days I could not sleep. Then I like thought, convince I can't do. Then corruption. So cheating is the only method. What I did, I went upstairs without knowledge, without them, like in their absence I used to do. But finally, they followed me and they asked me. Then with some reason I able to manage like that. I use yukti, but always it never like works. That's what.
Yeah, it is not considered as cheating because you're not doing any harm for anybody.
Yeah.
You're doing your own welfare.
Yeah.
Just like Prahlad Maharaj, he was very great devotee, pure devotee of the Lord.
Yeah.
Whatever Hiranyakashipu was telling, he was very obedient to him. But at the same time, when Hiranyakashipu told to forget the Lord, he did not do that. So it is not considered as any sin or anything. You just don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
But practice your spirituality. Then everything will be taken care. If chanting is there, if following 4 regulative principles are there, then if hearing is proper, then rest of the things will be taken care. Only time.
Before this ISKCON, no, I was very closely attached with my parents. So each and everything was known to them. So that has become the problem right now.
That's all right. You can continue.
Okay.
Anybody else has any question?